faced by Democratic Latina Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. The same election, Nevada elected Republican Latino Brian Sandoval as governor. Reid's campaign to his state's Latino population highlights this book's central motivating question. How are changing demographics, specifically the increasingly prominent and influential Latino electorate, changing American elections and politics? Several factors help explain Reid's CRM strategy and its electoral success. First, the race was extremely competitive. This forced Reid to generate as many votes as possible, especially among first-time voters or a new demographic base. Second, the Latino population in Nevada had recently grown to represent more than a quarter of the state's residents. Third, most of the Anglo voters in Nevada who exhibited racial hostility toward recent Mexican arrivals and other Latinos identified as Republican, who already opposed Reid. Barreto et al., 2010. For other Anglo voters, particularly those living in the Las Vegas and Reno metropolitan areas, Reid's Latino mobilization strategy did not cause them to waver or defect in their support for Reid. Because contemporary racial sentiments have partisan contours, candidates like Reid stand to benefit from these CRM tactics. These and other structural and contextual features of a campaign environment enhance the likelihood that certain candidates for public office will expend valuable campaign resources to target and mobilize voters across racial lines. Reid is not alone in using CRM strategies for electoral campaign success. Non-Hispanic candidates seeking public office run Spanish-language television campaign advertisements with increasing frequency. Figure 1.1 presents the percentage of advertisements aired by non-Hispanic candidates in Spanish across 8 recent election cycles. Variation exists by year and office. This is largely driven by which particular states have Senate and gubernatorial contests in a given year. Nevertheless, advertisements in Spanish, as a percentage of all advertisements, have increased noticeably since 2008. From 2008 to 2014, the share of all advertisements aired by non-Hispanic candidates in Spanish increased from 0.74%, 6,140 airings, to 3.5%, 20,370 airings. Moreover, a count of Spanish-language advertisement airings and time correlate between 0.43 to 0.87, depending on the office. Figure 1.1 graphically represents these upward trends. Much of this increase occurs among candidates seeking higher-level state or federal offices. Figure 1.2 demonstrates that candidates seeking higher-level offices air Spanish-language advertisements at relatively high rates. Figure 1.2 shows that from 2008 to 2012/2014, non-Hispanic presidential and gubernatorial candidates increased Spanish-language advertisement airings from 0.64 to 2.25%, and 0 to 2.36% respectively. In the Las Vegas media market alone, presidential campaign Spanish-language television advertising jumped from $600,000 in 2008 to $4 million in 2012. With the ever-growing Latino electorate and the recent development of Spanish-speaking voter models, Latino-targeted CRM is likely to grow among campaigns for a wide range of elected positions. These growing CRM efforts signal that Latinos are becoming increasingly influential in American politics. White candidates are not the only politicians effectively mobilizing candidates across racial lines. One of the more stunning victories in the history of presidential politics occurred with Barack Obama's victory in the 2008 Iowa presidential caucus. Iowa, a state with a roughly